So my first question is, were you familiar with Masahisa Fukase before going into the movie, and what made you want to take the project?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't know about him. I knew a bit about Japanese photography, but I didn't know about this guy. And it was an article in a British newspaper discussing his life, because I think his book Ravens was voted the most important book of the last 30 years by the British Journal of Photography. So I just read this article and was amazed that this story was real for us. I couldn't believe the story was true. And then I started doing more research, and that kind of once I did the more research, I worked with an American academic actually. He'd done some research on Fukase 10 years ago, or 10 years before I discovered it, and he was really helpful.
How did you try to make sure that the cultures and perspectives were balanced? Because you described it as a Japanophile Brit trying to make a movie about Japan. So how did you balance it?
I listened to the Japanese team. I think Japan is such a unique culture that you have to go in with a lot of respect and with your eyes wide open a bit. So I listened to what they were saying. So I would just write it from a Western perspective, and then I'd work with one of my producers, my Japanese producer, and she would look at it and correct things that were either just not accurate to the way the Japanese people did things. And also, once the script was written, I'd work with the actors, because they would then look at how I'd written things. They said maybe a Japanese person wouldn't do that. So it was mostly just listening and making sure that we didn't make any cultural mistakes. Yeah.
And the film is a biopic, but it has a lot of these fantasy, surrealist elements. So how did you balance that, and what were your cinematic influences?
I balanced it. I just didn't really think about it. I just did what I felt was right. I didn't go too over the top with it. You know what I mean? I think try and keep it quite naturalistic, even though it's a 7-foot talking raven. So just trust my own instincts, really, back myself on that. And in terms of influences, I got too many, I guess. But I really love American directors. So like Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, is genius. And Spielberg, I'm a Spielberg kid. I grew up watching all his movies, and everyone rates him, but I don't think they rate him highly enough. I think the guy's just a genius, Spielberg. And I know that Tarantino says he's going to retire, so I think you Americans should be doing a petition to stop that happening. It's just we need those kind of directors, because we need those kind of movies.
I agree. Thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you. I'm so excited to see the movie.